the legislature was the first major step.
A major improvement project underway at the Springbrook Nature Center. We'll have details. Plus, a Coon Rapids home goes up in flames. The latest on the investigation coming up. But first,
this will be the opportunity for us to really have exactly what we need for our young people.
new hope for young adults struggling to find a safe place to live. That tops CTN News this Friday, October 9th, 2015.
Thanks for joining us. The Coon Rapids City Council voted unanimously this week to allow Hope for Youth to construct transitional housing on Coon Rapids Boulevard.
It is the first of its kind in the area, with plans to house 12 homeless youth ages 18 to 23. The site is located near Highway 47 and Coon Rapids Boulevard, where the Stage Door Dance Studio was once located. CTN's Joe Nelson has more.
Anoka County really doesn't have a lot of resources for these young people.
Brian Swanson says he and a group of others in Anoka County recognized a growing problem of youth homelessness in the area and wanted to fight it.
Most of them are going to school that we see. So they're hardworking kids. They need the help. They need a break.
Kids that don't have structure at home sometimes have to take desperate measures just to get by, to survive. And of course, for me, my worry is theft or breaking into, say, a home that's abandoned or something like that. So it's an issue of concern.
After forming the nonprofit Hope for Youth, the group wanted to find a place for them to stay with goals in mind. Hope for Youth came up with a transitional housing plan for 18 to 23-year-olds who must be going to school or have a job and pay what they can for rent.
We're going to give these young people the opportunity to take responsibility for their own apartment, have their own place, and we'll have the support there to make sure that they're able to be successful.
They found a potential location, the old Stage Door Dance Studio on Coon Rapids Boulevard, then had to be approved by City Council.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Congratulations.
It's hard to believe. Along the way, we expected to have hurdles and challenges and opposition. And both the Planning Commission meeting and the City Council meeting, there wasn't a single person that even stepped up and spoke in any way opposing what we're doing. And so that's really affirming.
A, is you're helping an individual who needs the help, but B, larger goal is that if these kids become successful, they're contributors to society in a bigger way rather than a drain on society that some people might worry about.
Swanson thanked the community that donated more than $1 million to fund the project, and he hopes to eventually be able to expand the home to 3 stories and 36 units. Stephen Karen?
All right, a good first step.
Yep, good
Thanks,
opportunity
Joe.
for them.
District 11 says some reports in the media recently surrounding unpaid school meals are not accurate. As of August, unpaid meal balances in the Anoka School District added up to more than $160,000. District 11 officials say debt collection is the final step in a long process that includes phone calls, letters, and payment plans. They are continuing to feed students as they work with parents and guardians to lower those negative account balances. Families with additional questions or concerns may call the Child Nutrition Department at 763-506-1240.
Fire investigators are still trying to determine what caused a house to go up in flames late last week. The fire broke out on Friday afternoon at the home on 108th and Hanson Boulevard. A passerby called 911 after seeing smoke and flames coming from the property. Nobody was living in the home, which is a total loss. It took firefighters several hours to bring the blaze under control, during which time a portion of Hanson Boulevard was closed. Firefighters remained on the scene watching for hot spots until Saturday morning. Fire prevention is top of mind at elementary schools across the city this week.
So if I put my hand through the light beam like this, the smoke detector will go off.
We dropped in on students learning about fire safety at Hamilton Elementary on Tuesday morning. Coon Rapids firefighters visit every elementary school during Fire Prevention Week with a fun but informative presentation. This year's theme is Hear the Beep Where You Sleep. Every bedroom needs a working smoke alarm. We'll have more on the school fire prevention program coming up in about 5 minutes on CTN News Spotlight. A reminder, all 3 fire stations will host an open house Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. In addition to tours and refreshments, Fire Station 1 will have a kitchen fire demonstration and a DJ. Station 2 will have an electrical safety demonstration, and a medical helicopter will land at Station 3.
A heroin antidote that can save lives is now being sold over the counter at a national retail chain. CVS recently announced it is expanding the over-the-counter sale of Narcan to 12 more states, including Minnesota. Previously, it was only available at CVS stores in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. About a year ago, the Coon Rapids Fire Department became one of the first fire departments in the state to carry the drug antidote on fire rescue vehicles. Each year, more than 44,000 people die from accidental drug overdoses in the U.S. Click it or ticket. That's the message from law enforcement agencies across the state taking part in a seatbelt crackdown this month. Starting today through October 25th, officers will be out in full force looking for motorists who are not buckled up. Between 2012 and 2014, nearly half of the more than 800 people killed in car accidents were not wearing a seatbelt. State law requires all drivers and passengers to be properly restrained at all times. Last month, the Fridley City Council awarded the contracts for the expansion of the Springbrook Nature Center.
This week, work started on the addition to the Interpretive Center. On Wednesday, Springbrook supporters joined Fridley City officials for the long-awaited groundbreaking of the expansion project. CTN Steve Antis was there.
Good morning, everyone.
It was a morning some in this community had waited years for.
I don't know how many years we were down at the Capitol, about 8 years total.
Fridley Mayor Scott Lund recounted the road to St. Paul in search of financing for the expansion of Springbrook.
What you see the start of today is basically phase one of a two-phase project.
State Senator Barb Goodwin was among the legislators who helped get $5 million in state funding for the project.
And the issue was that they had to be convinced that it was a regional, not just a city park, but a regional nature center. We were vetoed a couple of times, line item vetoed in the bill. We finally got it in there so much in the heart of the bonding bill that we didn't even have to have hearings at the very end. They just loved us, so we got it done.
And now, the moment they'd all been waiting for.
It's a work of so many people over such a great deal of amount of time.
In 2000, Foundation Chair Malcolm Mitchell was among the visionaries who saw this day. Now his sights are set on phase 2 of the project.
The fact that we have the $5 million and the Interpretive Center under construction, I think, is a big step in the process that will allow others to say, let's finish it.
On Tuesday, Springbrook closed to the public as workers started to clear the land and make way for the Interpretive Center's 8,300 square foot addition.
The tree removal will continue for about another week, and at which time they will reopen the park to the public with an alternative trailhead so folks can enjoy the fall colors. From Fridley, Steve Antis, CTN News.
The construction work on the expansion of the Interpretive Center and the remodel of the Nature Center's original building is expected to be finished by next June.
The Three Rivers Park District celebrated a milestone of its own last weekend. On Saturday, local dignitaries helped cut the ribbon, marking the completion of the Coon Rapids Dam Rehabilitation Project. The $16 million project, which started more than 3 years ago, made major repairs to the dam spillway. It also added new steel gates to allow the dam to function as an effective barrier to invasive species like Asian carp.
I would also be remiss if I didn't mention the walkway over this incredible dam and how glad we are that it's reopened for public use. It really symbolically represents the partnership with the Three Rivers Park District and the state, and it also connects two of the most heavily used trails in the entire metropolitan area.
In addition to live music, food, and fun activities, the public got a behind-the-scenes tour of the dam. An estimated 750,000 people visit the parks each year on both sides of the river.
Goodrich Field in Anoka played host to the first ever Minnesota Police Canine competition last weekend. A total of 30 dogs and their partners from all over the state ran through an obstacle course complete with simulated gunfire. Sunday's event was organized by Officer Mark McDonough of the Coon Rapids Police Department, who's retiring at the end of this month after 33 years in law enforcement.
This is my last little thing I'm going to do, but we wanted to get a nice public relations thing for the police departments and the canines in the community. So it seems like it's turned out pretty good here.
And Officer Mark McDonough helped train the dogs that placed in the top 3. Bill Hamas and his partner Billy came in second place at last Sunday's competition. The free event, which was open to the public, also helped raise money for the Law Enforcement Memorial Association, backing the Blue Line and the Heart Safe program. So his work continues. He trained one of the top 3 winners.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.